Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of JoeScentMe. As you can tell by this beautiful surrounding, I am not at home right now. And the lovely lady next to me is the wonderful Shalini. That's right. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. It's amazing that we're here together for the first time. And I'm honored that you accepted to do this video interview with me. So
I'm honored to have you here, Joe. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. I actually found out about Shalini and her perfumes just a few months ago. And the first perfume that I experienced personally, and it absolutely knocked me over, was Jardin Nocturne. And it was the most incredible thing I've smelled in a long time.
Thank you.
So for those of you that don't know Shalini, she was, well, you could tell it a little more about it. I'd rather you say it because it's your story.
It's my story, yes. Well, you tell it very well, Joe. So I started in haute couture, and I brought in, I trained in fashion and architecture, and I was trying to bring in the same elements of couture into perfume to create something that had sort of a longevity like architecture does or couture does, but also using the finest quality of ingredients and then presenting them, kind of bringing in an element of the visual. And I always call them sort of the Grand Cru, using the purest oils, and these are all in the pure parfum format. The reason we decided to do René Lalique was also because of that artistic, very beautiful element of bringing couture and the visual to fragrances.
Yes, and Lalique is also a symbol of prestige, of just the epitome of perfume couture. I mean, if you think about it, like some of the finest perfumes were presented in Lalique.
Right, Nina Ricci has had that tradition for a long time. I mean, recently Tom Ford has done Black Orchid with Lalique, but Nina Ricci has done it for a very long time, from the 50s. They have L'Air du Temps, which is a very signature fragrance bottle they've done. These are all originally done by René Lalique. They were created in the 1920s, so they are his original designs.
Wow.
So, and I love the fact that they reflect the inspiration of each fragrance.
Absolutely. And I love the way they look too. I mean, there's just so much, I don't know, I mean, there's just so much going on in each piece, even the intricate details of the wing in this first one, which is the original Shalini, and down to
a crown.
A crown, or
yes,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was thinking of an antler or a crown.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Well, Jardin Nocturne was inspired by the night of Dubai, and this reminded me sort of as a crown, which is very reminiscent of that time and that period and that part of the world, with the royalty and all of that. But there's also a sense of the moon, because it was supposed to be an ode to the night, a nocturne, a musical composition for the night. And that was what this was. And it also reminds me a little bit of the Alhambra in Spain, the architecture from that period. So it was like multiple reasons to be drawn to that.
Well, I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah. And then your most recent creation, which will be out very, very soon, by the way, is the Amorem Rose. And after I've seen the first two, I was thinking, well, I wonder what this Lalique piece will look like.
The Amorem Rose, it's an ode to love. I mean, it is love in its greatest, most beautiful form. And the swallows represent love, peace, joy. There's a sense of flight with them, but there's also this beauty. And this particular piece, René Lalique loved swallows, and it was the idea of also this round nature of the way that the stopper is made, like love encompassing all of the world or whatever. So that was also a reason for it.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Yeah, it was a feeling of. And each piece conveys the inspiration, like I stated. So it's very much part of when you smell the fragrance. It's only when after that I start looking for the bottle for it.
Okay.
So
tell us a little bit about each fragrance and what can someone expect to experience with each one of these?
Well, Shalini is the very first one I created with Maurice. Maurice Roucel is the nose for all three of the fragrances, and He's a great artist and a wonderful friend, and an incredible collaborator to work with. Because each fragrance is, it's something I want to create, but he's creating. It's sort of a co-creation. And Shalini, when I first met Maurice, I wanted to create a tuberose fragrance with white flowers that I love, with Tiara and Neroli. So it's very feminine, it's a white floral, but we do have men who wear it because it has musk and sandalwood, sort of balance it's not sweet. But this bottle was supposed to convey the feeling of flight. It's almost like it's rising upwards, and the sense of a butterfly, chrysalis, the idea of coming out of the cocoon. So there's a lightness of flight to the fragrance, and it's very exquisite, and it's white floral. Jardin Nocturne is more masculine, feminine. It was inspired by Dubai, so it was like, it has that kind of mystical, quality, mystical, magical quality of the Middle East.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, I know you're one of your favorite ones. So, and it has the oud, which is, they burn the oud in there. It's a ceremonious thing.
By the way, not this fake whatever stuff that other people use. This is real.
This is real. This is Ravageur from Assam. Maurice actually went to Assam. He visited there. But it was, and also when you go to Dubai, you smell these little jasmine blossoms. They're just everywhere, and then you smell the saffron they use for their cooking. So it's really the night air of Dubai. It has the feeling of, that night. I mean, a friend of mine who lives there, when she smelled it, she's like, she couldn't believe that it smelled just like Dubai air. It was like he managed to capture it. But then there's this magical element to it. So it transports you there, but it transports you to other places as well. So, and the reason I was saying earlier is that, it's the idea of the moon, and then there's a crown, and it also has a feeling of tree. I mean, it could be like a tree of life.
I do feel like that looks like a tree.
Yeah, and Jardin Nocturne was an ode, like like Chopin Nocturne, or a Beethoven or a Satie Nocturne. It was like supposed to be a musical composition to the night. So this bottle sort of represents that in a way. And the third one, Amorem Rose. It's just there's something so, it has a Bulgarian rose, where I've always wanted to visit the Rose Valley in Bulgaria, which is very few limited roses growing there, and it's a very select, very beautiful rose, very sensual, deep. And this fragrance was really a sense of coming to a point of love, whether it's love for a single person or love for humanity. It was really an expression of love in the deepest way. And it's funny because every time I think of this fragrance, I think of Pablo Neruda poetry, or I think of Rumi poetry, which is, one was written to a woman and the other was written to God. So it's kind of a different form of love, but it's a composition of rose, saffron, and it has a couple of woods, and it's just a very, it has Baltic amber as well, which brings a sense of a smokiness and earthiness to it.
Warmth. I mean, there's something so warm and beautiful about this, and sweet and inviting and seductive as well. There's a lot of good things going on in this.
It just embraces you in a way.
It does. And it's like no other rose, really, because we sat and talked about this a while ago here, and I'm so used to smelling roses that are just, okay, it's a rose, okay, big whoop. This rose right here just does something to you. It almost feels like it changes you.
Yeah.
So
it has a very high divine energy. There's a force in there. It's really beautiful, and I've been enjoying it. And I think everybody who wears it, has felt this sort of energy of being embraced by it.
Absolutely.
It's really beautiful.
I can't wait for you guys to try these all. By the way, where can they do that?
Well, Bergdorf's does carry the Lalique flacon, and then we have other glass bottles that a lot of perfumeries carry. They have them at Bergdorf's, they have them at Beverly Hills. We also have European, and we have Door and Indigo. That's starting
great.
soon with Indigo.
That's great news.
And then we have, our locations in Europe. We're at Spitzenhaus in Zurich. We're going to be launching in Rotterdam with Lianto Luxury, which is a brand new concept they're developing, and with Harrods, of course.
Yeah, and Harrods, Harrods is going to be the epitome of luxury shopping as well. So in London, so sounds like you are all around the world, so that's great.
We're trying to develop, obviously we have the luxury client who buys the Lalique flacon, but we want people to experience the fragrances. So it's not just, there's a variety of bottles and sizes available for that reason. So, whatever you want, however you want to experience it, as a little travel spray to throw in your purse, or something you admire, almost like a museum piece that you want to keep in your home. There are options available. So
these are definitely ones that I would just love to have out and show people.
Yeah, a friend of mine built a vitrine for the coquillage. So
nice.
Yeah, he actually had a little vitrine built in his home for it. So.
Nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, it was
and I mean, when you're spending $3,000 on each of these bottles, you want to present it in a way that gives it the justice that it deserves.
Yes, and there's also a sense of enjoyment. Like you enjoy a piece of art.
Exactly.
A painting, you would hang it on a wall and enjoy it. But then you also, of course, with fragrance, you want to put it in your skin and play with it and experience it. So
very cool.
You kind of have both options.
So what are you thinking in the future of Shalini? What can we look forward to coming in the future?
Well, I want to develop fragrances as sort of an artist series. So I've been working with Maurice with these 3, and we might do another 1 or 2, 3, but I also want to work with other perfumers, so we develop it, and I don't want to just do a single fragrance with a perfumer, because I think it's a language that you develop with each person. So I'd like to do at least 3 with every perfumer that I work with. So it's like an artist series. It's almost like you go to the museum and you see, it's a series of art, as you're saying, and that way the perfumers that I'm working with also have a chance to, work on one concept and then elaborate it for 2 more. So there's a synergy in that. So, the first ones we did were very sort of beautiful, opulent nature, floral memories. Like this one was actually childhood memories of seeing tuberoses in the garden. So they were very sort of floral. But I also want to take fragrances in a sort of incense way to take them to the sky,
All right, I'm looking forward to
elaborate on a different concept. So.
I'm looking forward to the future of Shalini, and I'm really excited, and I'm so grateful that we found each other.
I know, you're wonderful, Joe. You really are. Thank you.
I don't deserve any of this, but I really appreciate you saying that. Seriously, it means a lot, and I appreciate what you do. I see your heart in every single one of these, and when I wear it, I'm always reminded of your grace, your wonderful, person who you are. So
thank you. Well, fragrances, it's a gift that you give, because if you create something and it shifts your energy and it makes you happy, then it carries forward to another person. So it's almost like a gift of energy if you create something of beauty. It's the same for other things that you create as well, but it's a sense of, to give a gift of energy.
Absolutely.
To joy. So.
And that joy spills to the next person, to the next person, to the next person.
Right.
It creates a ripple effect into the world.
Right.
And hopefully there'll be more joy, peace, and love.
That's right.
In the world, right?
That's right.
So it's a
Absolutely.
good point. So there you have it. I'm going to include all of Shalini's information down below so you guys can purchase these beautiful fragrances. And also make sure you follow Shalini on Instagram as well. She's got a lot of great pictures, and you can sort of follow where she's going with everything. So this is a great way for you to kind of see how things are developed and all her wonderful works of art here. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Comments of anything, if you've tried anything that you saw here and you're like, oh, I tried this one, I love it, leave those down below. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see what your thoughts are on any of these perfumes. And I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much, Shalini.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Guys, this is it. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.